Hi everyone, this is the Small Account Challenge, August 18, 2022. You're watching me, Nikki, also known as Awesome10X. Let's dive in towards the account and what's happening. So more of a diary, right? Okay, so let's share my screen first. Thanks, by the way, for everyone watching, and let's I appreciate it. Let's go towards this account. So here, you can clearly see that I'm showing to you my port. So I have two accounts in my eToro. You're seeing the Awesome10X port and the Nikki Yu port. I'm gonna show to you that habitually what I do with my portfolio is I would deposit $1,000, $500, nothing big, maximum $5,000. So this is really meant for people who are trying to just trade or trying to start small, and then hopefully within a few months and a few quarters you can get the market. And even if it takes you years, it will be something that you will find of value. So yun, the reason why I made the show Small Account Challenge is just to give you a week by week update on how I'm doing with my small account. And I do have also a larger account. and I actually try to do almost the same. The large account, the small account, nothing is different except that, of course, in the large account, the numbers are just bigger. Okay, so let's just go through this. Okay, so you can clearly see that the small account in eToro, I have made some gains. And you can clearly see QuantumScape, I've made an 80% gain by shorting it. Sunova, I shorted, made a 32% gain by shorting it. NASDAQ, I also shorted at 13.6. And again, so far, here that it's 13.4. Array, I am shorting it. ChargePoint, I am shorting it. AMD, I am shorting it. Bloom Energy, I am short selling it. So you can see that my top 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions are shorting many solar names. Take note that we have discussed this idea in our Free Friday class last week. So every Thursday and every Thursday I talk about my small account challenge, wherein we teach people, hey, how they make $100, $1,000, perhaps within a month. So you can see that this happened within a week's time, that we were preparing since Friday that maybe the market is toppish. So you even see that my eToro account, this was about 1.5, mga $2,800, ngayon $3,100. So I earned a little bit. Now, of course, I didn't win in everything. Let me also discuss to you my losses. Okay, so let's show to you the entire movement. No? So my shorts have played out nicely and I kept my shorts. You can also see that I made some inverse fund allocation. No? Naglong ako ng SQQQ. This is an inverse fund. I started going long 34, although it can fall below 34 pa. I've been adding on to that. So 34 and 34.75, I made an add. And you can clearly see that I'm doing some leverage here. So malamang in a 5% movement, it will be a 25% movement on the upside or on the downside. So you shouldn't be worried too much on the percentages. You should be more on the lookout on the dollar amount or the total portfolio. I really mostly look at the total portfolio. And I have to tell people that in case, example, my account is say $1,000, if I can clearly see that, may opportunity dyan, I will either buy it or sell it, and then I would add even some thousand. Usually, ang i-add ko lang dyan $1,000. So I usually add into the account as much as I also withdraw. Usually, if I make something like $1,000 for the month, ine-exit ko yun, tapos withdraw lang ng withdraw as much as possible with the same capital lagi. So my capital allocation there, between 1K, maximum 5K. Kung talagang sobrang bullish ako or sobrang bearish ako, maximum exposure ko sa eToro is about 5K. Okay, so the rest that aren't there is in cash. So wini-withdraw ko naman yan lagi. I use credit card in my eToro. Ang withdrawal ko dyan system, I do a bank transfer. I'm not being paid by eToro. I'm just using it. Medyo user-friendly siya for me. Okay, now sa XLY, this is a consumer discretionary select sector. I have shorted this last night thinking that the market is toppish. As you can see, Nasdaq, I'm short. Tapos SQQQ, I am long. So ibig sabihin, I'm bearish in the market in the very short term. I'm also bearish thinking that maybe the market has somehow peaked for your Amazon and Apple. I could be wrong here. I've already lost money before from shorting Amazon and Apple too soon. I closed my loss, of course. And you can see that sabay-sabay to na Amazon, of course, and XLY will be a huge mover because if Amazon keeps on going up, aangat pa rin ang aangat si XLY. XLY's biggest holdings is Amazon and Tesla. Now, this one, you can clearly see I am down 49%. Bakit yan nangyari? So you can see $87 na ngayon, it's $72. Meron ako dyang leverage, kaya naging ganyan. Kasi 87 to 72 is just about 15%, di ba, na decline. So, naging 49 kasi may lever yan. Pero I can handle that to the point na if SE goes down to 65 or 60, I continue to remain bullish on SE. So, yung stop loss ko na 65 dyan, ang plano ko dyan is actually, pwede ko ma-modify yan. For those who are not aware, since may cash ako, pwede ko i-modify yan ng 60 para lalaki lang yung loss na possibility, pero never ako maso-stop out. So, for that company, SE, hawak ko pa rin siya kahit na down ako dyan. The reason is, I really believe that C Limited is a very good long-term stock. In fact, I will be discussing it later on towards my Awesome 10X class. And for those who are watching this, I used to have a free study of C Limited, the Peranakan version of Tencent. You can check it out as well in this same Awesome 10X. Just type in SE Peranakan version of Tencent, Awesome 10X, lalabas yun. Around a few years ago in 2020, I discussed it. I will be updating it because I see a plenty of room for upside rather than downside on C Limited fundamentally, despite the world trashing it out after the earnings report. No, so the market has forgotten all the reasons why Garena has still been the cash cow, and why they are selling all the video games. It's almost as if they forgot about the Fortnite. Diba? They saw that Nvidia has been making all these Nvidia has been making all the pronouncements about the negativity on gaming. I checked at my previous thesis on SE, so I'll show to you my previous reports. This was 2020. I remember that Alibaba started in a crisis, and during the SARS epidemic, online or e-commerce did very well, such that Alibaba also, ended up becoming the profitable company that it is today, Taobao. So I see a lot of similarities with Alibaba and Tencent. So Alibaba was once an obscure company in 2003 but came out on top of the food chain. So actually, I'm also bullish on Alibaba. In fact, in our small account challenge, I'm looking to be, in my large account, I do have a buying bias here on Alibaba. Here about 88, no? You're seeing that the market is trashing all of the Chinese companies yet again. It is down here at $70. Now it is $80, and now it's 88. You see higher lows happening for Alibaba. You're also seeing, guys, the market is toppish, and Tencent just recently reported the slowest income. But net, no, it's still a positive company, so it went up. So it was better than expected earnings, even if revenues declined. So earnings is still prioritized by Tencent. That's why it went up. You can see that most of these Chinese companies are trading at very low valuations already. Low in the sense versus their revenues and their earnings potential over their last 5 to 10 year average. I see the same thing happening in SE. I will prove that to you by numbers, through numbers. That's actually a report that I'm trying to make, pero hindi ko pa tapos. Either way, just by looking at the numbers, if you can recall, so I will share to you, kahit na yung old data, compare it to current data, no? So the old data of SE, so for those who aren't aware, SE obviously is in all three. So we always talked about C Limited as the three growth monsters: e-commerce, gaming, and digital ad entertainment, as well as money or fintech. All of these growth cylinders have grown over the last 3 years, and yet the price that you are buying C Limited today is the same price as 2019. Yes, you got me right, 2019. So ito, si SE, if you compare the drops, very huge volumes here on SE, binagsakan siya. The pricing of C Limited there is the same price in this area. Hindi pala 2019. 2019, mga peak was, ito, the peak was about 40 for 2019. For 2020, so bumalik siyang 2020 arena. Dito sa May 2020 of about 55, nag-retest siya dyan, May 2020. So we retested that during this recent low, tong 55. And then we are now touching back in the 65 area. 65 area is near your S&P 500 lows during the June areas of 36. So C Limited has quickly dropped towards your SPY area. No? So your SPY, which is high today at 43, can go higher, but it will be, in my view, toppish. During June, your SPY is 364. So I think that what happened with SE has gone down way too fast on numbers that wasn't really that bad. The market was negative on the $900 million loss that C Limited showed for this quarter, this earnings season. You can see that the surprise was negative in the revenues, the earnings was still positive, but it is still a loss, no? Better than expected lang yung earnings, but that is a $900 million loss for the group, owing to the strong decline of Garena, the gaming. Now, in order to really properly assess C Limited, I think what you have to check is the C Limited numbers, each business. So you've got the finance, you've got the Garena, and the Shopee. I will not be doing a company profile here. So small account challenge is really just discussing what I'm doing in my small account. Now, as we can clearly see, there is a lot of room for the downside in the market in the short term. So I will not change my portfolio look ngayon. The companies that I've shorted, I will remain short with a trail stop. My view is that the markets could fall perhaps for 4,000, and I will be able to get many good companies again at a lower price. I do believe that the 2 months rally has given us plenty of opportunities on the long side, and now perhaps even if some stocks haven't truly run up and can still run, I believe that there will be some companies that can still run. People need a pullback just to get a healthy return for their cash in the sidelines. So from a trading perspective, what would the market be looking at? So my view is that you have to first watch Apple to fall a bit first, no? So the reason why I was shorting Apple, and I'm also trying to short crypto names, is because you've just gone up way too fast too soon. You can see that Apple is merely a stronger index now, no? Everyone's holding an Apple, rallying from 130 all the way to 170, or a super move there of about more than 30%. No? Here, 35%. That movement, in my view, of Apple is a sign of rallying pero mature na rin. I would like to see Apple retest somewhere here to 160 to 165 first, or a downside move initially of 175, kahit pabalik lang ng 5%. Even just here at 167, it's still a healthy uptrend for Apple, but I believe it needs a healthy pullback first. You can clearly see that even your Amazon is showing some signs of relative weakness here at about 142. Now, AMD, most semiconductors have truly shown negativity as well after rallying 46% for AMD, no? AMD has rallied all the way from 72 all the way to 103. You've got a lot of optimism baked in already in the market, and yet most of these companies are showing that they can be slowing down their shipments due to gaming. Gaming is PC and devices are possibly still in a sideways or in a down in a slowing economy, slow down. So you are clearly seeing here resistance after resistance, AMD near resistance, Nvidia near resistance here. It could go down, but I would say that Nvidia, we would, if you are a buyer, you want to be buying more on 170 or 140. In fact, the numbers recently of Nvidia will not also make you very bullish of their good for long term, but probably not in the short term. So my sense here, guys, is that we did run up way too fast too soon, and we do need that that bigger pullback, either to retest these previous lows here around June 17 for Nvidia here about 160s. So I think that it's healthy. It's a healthy pullback. Do I believe that this bear market rally has reversed to a bull market? My answer is actually no, but I will still trade what I can see in my eyes. If you have a value, then I would assume the worst that the market can do for you is sideways. So some stocks like Disney and Airbnb, I would assume the most that it will drop is sideways after super strong numbers. So I'm really looking at travel names as a safe haven. Last night, Zim fell down to 47, even if the earnings was still very good. And they're going to receive, shareholders would receive $4.75 cash div. Trading where at that level, it's just trading less than 5 times multiple. So I would rather keep it rather than sell it. Believe that there are tremendous plays pa rin in the market that the market is still overlooking at. So from a long side, I would have to say that there are companies that I'm bullish upon, even if the markets can sell off, no? So I think that there will be alpha in some names here. As Zim falls from 47, baka mag 43 pa siya, I would be more of a buyer here. So I'm looking to buy these levels. Actually, I am also starting bullish areas for Heidi Lau, 16.5 I got in. The problem here is that, of course, it could retest if the markets fall down. Either it retest 14 to 12, so I have to be watchful of the stops here at 16 or 15. If it breaks 15, I might have to re-enter 12. Pero from either, dalawa kasi mangyayari kay Heidi Lau, either uptrend lang yan or retest pa. So, but I can see already that the market is willing to buy up a lot of reopening plays, even in China. So I'm actually starting to accumulate Chinese names on a position trading perspective. So positioning na yung ginagawa ko sa mga C-limited, positioning for the next year, not necessarily what happens this quarter or next quarter. Tapos na yung quarterly earnings ng C-limited. So what am I gonna anticipate for next 6 months? Obviously, recovery and for them to be able to be efficient on their cost. I do believe that the growth in Southeast Asia is unabated. So I need to read up, pero the price today at 69, 70 pesos of C Limited, 72 siya nag-close, but you might be able to get it below 70. As much as possible, if you can even buy it at 60, even better. It's now trading at a 30 billion market cap. Mga $40 billion market cap, but it's got 10 billion in cash. So they've raised enough cash. It's $9 billion cash. 9, 10, ganon. They've got a lot of cash because they sold convertible notes when the prices was at $317 per share. And with a convertible premium of 480. So technically, they have so much cash that will last them until 2025, 2026. I look at this in the light of what C economy will be come 5 years from now. And I see that it will get highly digital and high penetration rate. So C Limited is my selected unique company to get the best of fintech in the Philippines, in Southeast Asia, in Indonesia, in Vietnam, Malaysia. I see their C money as a strong catalyst for a revaluation. You can see that Square started before with not much. They processed, right now, Cash App has been processing more than $2 billion of profit, gross profit. Teka, let me just go back to my slides on. I got to read Square. Square is also a company that I really like in my long-term list. Square. Block basically. Pero I have it here. I think na-save ko yung, not sure kung na-save ko rito yung slides. Kung na-copy-paste ko yung mga best of Square. Yeah, look at this. Cash App from Cash App gross profit is $600 million. Cash App just started 2015. Tapos in 2022, grabe na yung services that Cash App has. And 4 billion yung revenues, 4 billion yung gross profit ni Block. And half of that, 2 billion, is in Cash App. So I can imagine that the C money is super undervalued today. And then e-commerce pa lang, si Shopee also being undervalued. I see the markets being negative on Garena. It is normal, but how much do you pay for a game today? You can see naman that gaming is a secular trend. Esports, in my view, is still a secular trend. League of Legends, Valorant, diba? Marami yan. Fortnite, I still believe in the franchise. So yung mga Free Fire and all the mobile games as a business division, I see that SE will, and I'll use data then to prove this to you, what the past has been and what the last few months and last 7 years for other companies with similar businesses like SE has done. A lot of similarities kasi yung C Limited business obviously with Amazon and Alibaba, as well as the fintech businesses like Square, and even really comparable with Square and PayPal. Or you can even argue, maybe you can argue sila Affirm din kasi I'm not sure if they will enter the buy now pay later business. Baka hindi kasi they're focused on profitability. BNPL is not a profitable business for now, so they would probably not enter that space. But yun, when you see a business model kasi, you really have to check not just what happened last quarter. What happened last quarter does not prove to me the fallibility of SE going down. I saw downgrade. Somebody downgraded SE, I forgot which analyst, to $90. Current level of SE is $70. So even at that downgrade, it's still a 30% upside. And the other reports are $159 target price, $130 target price. There's a lot of analysts covering C Limited, which tells you that this is not a basura company. You will see that many people are directly following the e-commerce and fintech economies of Southeast Asia and Brazil. So the Nubank did very well, and people paid $20 billion just for Nubank. Just consider that. You're getting a business today for just 30 billion kasi nga cash yung 10B eh. The market cap of SE is 40 billion with zero debt and 10 billion cash. So it's just a 30 billion company. If Nubank, which is a very small company, is getting paid 20 billion already with just 15 million income, don't you see that Shopee and Garena is worth more than 10B? So obviously, I see plenty of upside here rather than downside. I'm not trying to talk my books, sorta. But yeah, for this small account challenge, all I really want to share is the market seems toppish. That's why last week I talked about pigs getting slaughtered. But at the same time, if you look closely, are there small growth companies or mid cap somewhere in the below $50 billion range that is attractive? Above 10B, below 50, we call it mid cap. I think SE and Square passes that test. That's why I own them. Palantir, I saw disappointing revenues, but then again, if you make Palantir go down to about 7, 8, 9, there will be buyers who will also fight the tape. Nowadays, whatever the recession or vibe session, whatever they talk about, I believe that anyone who looks at their portfolio should look at what the business entails. So, for instance, some companies have done well, like Airbnb, which merits more attention and more concentration. Obviously, Expedia did very well, Booking.com did very well. You've got companies like the travel sector, hotels have done very well, and we are very bullish on them. I'm very bullish on this trip-related entities, no? Anything that has to do with trips. If you are believing airlines, yes, I'm bullish on that. So, depende lang yan. I just prefer doing the platforms instead of the airlines. But I'm bullish in all things related to travel, including the payment services, no? So, Visa has been doing well, showing that travel spending has made such a huge dent into their profits and volumes, 50% growth on cross-border payment volumes, telling me that the consumers are willing to spend on a vacation, and that's a good deal. That's a good thing for Visa and MasterCard. I'm not really as bearish when I look at companies like Disney. Disney showed a very, very strong theme park resurgence, a 100% growth there, and very strong streaming numbers firing on all cylinders. So while there are some bad companies or missed expectations for C Limited, actually in these types of names where you can get it at really cheap numbers, no, 80% below the price before, 70% below, there is really leeway for you to have the upside. Kaya we will start to do a lot of DCA, dollar cost averaging. There are points in time when I do not trade. There are times when, you know what, this one needs to be a fundamental hat. And I will also say the same for Zoom Video. It's now trading at $100. You have free cash flows there, 5 times free cash flows, and trading at the same level of about 3 years ago. You've got a company like Meta trading at 5 times free cash flows. Now, I would argue that Meta and Google would have two of the best digital advertising growth pa rin, no matter how weak the economy is. So I'm actually bullish on both Google and Meta, but more on Meta simply on the valuation perspective. So there are times that I will really go contrarian, and I will be willing to fight it out, just as I'm fighting it out with some bears in the Chinese space, di ba? You can see naman, everyone's bearish in China. Meanwhile, I'm bullish on Tencent and Alibaba and JD. I'm bullish on e-commerce and been buying recently with your Hang Seng Index trading at $19,800 today. See you again next week. By the way, the BARC, Fubo, and Vita, our small cap picks did very well. I think people already took profit, but the dips, if ever it happens, would be a great buying opportunity for these small companies. So fundamentals will matter talaga in a bear market, which I really think we are in. We may not be in a super weak, I don't know talaga kung anong klaseng market to eh. Kasi I still believe it's a bear market. The rally was strong, but we will probably have companies retest or even some companies hit new lows. Somehow, just trade what you see. I still believe in that. And pay attention in the company business then. If the business of a company is being sold down too much, yung stock price is getting sold down, but the business didn't really deteriorate, then you can clearly see a value play that you can make. And it doesn't have to be a meme play. Although the people who played memes, congrats for those who made money, whether long side or short side, since both longs and shorts seem to be making money. It's a choppy place for memes. And I don't think it's an investment. People trade it. Yun. So that's it, no? You've got a very volatile week. I believe in that, volatile. Stay sharp with your price levels and your risk. Don't actually hold back just because everyone tells you that the market's gonna crash a la 2008. If you see value already, like what I see in C Limited, I just really pressed. Whether it falls next few days yet again, the prices today is the same as June levels of the lows. So at 70, 66, okay na rin yan. You have to press a little buy. Thank you. Bye-bye.